All right, boys, so it's another one of those videos where I talk about a topic, and today we got something spicy. Actually, 3 days ago, there was a developer update on the news section of Blizzard for Overwatch, and it was made by Aaron Keller, and it's actually massive. It's huge. It actually talks about something that's going to come in the future, Season 3, and big developments for that season, and as well, Season 4. So I'm actually going to cover what the article says, probably put it on screen, talk about bullet points, and obviously there's going to be gameplay in the background. All right, so it starts off, hi everyone, obviously. This piece is aimed at looking at some of the topics that have come up in the community over the course of Season 2. This won't be comprehensive enough to look at everything that players are talking about, but our intent is that we do this every few weeks, so we're able to start diving into smaller topics as we go. Also, the goal here is to keep you up to date on what we're thinking and planning, but not necessarily be the source of all the reasoning and detail behind those decisions. So in the opening paragraph, we get a lot of good info just off rip by saying that they are listening to the community, they're seeing everything we're talking about, and they kind of want to start creating these weekly posts where they kind of just take a topic and kind of talk about it, think of conceptualizing ideas and plans that could potentially fix those issues, and keeping us in the loop, creating a back and forth between the community and the developers so we can have a greater relationship and help potentially make this game what everyone wants, right? The final goal of a potentially perfect game, right? And then he obviously gets into what he wants to talk about in this small post, right? Which is the new rank mode and how it suffered from poor comprehension. There was confusion around players' real rank and how that translated to their skill level, difficulty forming groups with friends, and a negative impression of the matchmaker when players of different rank were put in the same match. Even if their skill levels were similar, we will be implementing some changes in Season 3 and quite a few changes in Season 4, all aimed at creating more clarity in the system. And I'm assuming that paragraph basically covers what they're doing in that other article that I covered about 2-3 weeks ago at this point, I think, where they're talking about the matchmaker, how they want to create mirror teams and all that stuff, and that's something that's going to take potentially months. So it's a Season 3 beginner pushing into Season 4, just creating a better, more overall matchmaking rank system, right? Which is obviously good, and I'm super happy to say. This next little section is big. We've gotten feedback from players that the game doesn't feel rewarding enough to play, and that there's players that can't earn the items that they want in a short enough period of time. We'll be making a change in Season 3 that should address some of these complaints. This is a first step. We will have more details to share about this next week. And I feel like this is addressing the thing that I was talking about in my video where I mentioned the whole event where the new game mode is terrible for the Year of the Rabbit, and I don't even want to get the skin for Echo because it's just unplayable, the mode, and I just feel like I'm being screwed over. And I feel like they're going to address that and potentially change it, and let's see what they do. And it also mentions at the end that they're going to be sharing more next week. So like I said, they're already showing that they're going to be doing this on a consistent weekly basis, which is good because they're already giving you so this is kind of what we're going to deep dive into next week, which is these changes to potentially the reward system. And now this little one sentence piece is what actually went crazy for me. There are a few numbers of changes to ult costs in Season 3. We'll be lowering the ult refund when swapping heroes to 25 as part of these tuning pass. As part of this tuning pass at the beginning of Season 3. So instead of getting 30, you get 25 now. And that extra 5% isn't a lot, but it might be enough to, not give the first person that dies such an incentive to swap, because if they have 40%, they might lose 15, or if they're 45, they'll lose 20%, and that's such a big change from only losing 5 to 10%. If you die off rip and then you counter swap, maybe even lowering it to 20 is good, but the big thing is that they're looking into it and they're changing it, and they're going to see the results, which is what I like, right? And it's something big that's actually massive, right? Because counter swapping was such a big thing, and people felt like they couldn't, play characters like Ramatra because they couldn't unlock them or have them the day of because they couldn't buy the battle pass, and they felt like they were being restricted and stuff like that. And removing the ability to swap so freely by lowering the ult refund is big. And now the second to last paragraph, which is actually a video that bro, it's crazy how everything I mentioned in the last 3 videos where I talked about patches and stuff like that, they addressed in this one article. It's actually crazy. And the second to last paragraph reads, balance frequency is a big topic. Bug fixes to hot fixing should enable us to address balance faster and would have enabled us to tune Hog earlier in Season 2. We're still planning an initial and mid-season patch each season, but now we have the full ability to fill in between those as necessary. And I mentioned that in my video for the January 5 patch, that we need those smaller patches and we need more of them. We need them consistently throughout the month. Give me one every week or something, Give me the mid-season, give me the beginning of the season, the mid-season, but then give me one every week where you change one character, you change two characters, you give them a little bit here, a little bit there, and that'll be so big in like creating what is like a really good, healthy, and balanced game as we figure out where characters finally fall into these changes and all that stuff. Like, it's big, and they're saying it seems like they're going to be able to fill stuff in between now that they've gotten that hotfix patch tool fully fleshed out. And in the final paragraph, they talk about one-shotting and frustrating hero mechanics are being discussed a lot in the community and on the team. This is an ongoing discussion, but the topic has a lot of nuance that involves the frequency of those mechanics, trade-offs for using it, the overall power level of a hero, how often the hero is played, as well as things like hero fantasy. Knowing that we're listening here, the feedback has been great and very welcome, and we will come back to this when we have more to share. And that paragraph kind of wraps up saying, like, yes, we understand, we're keeping in contact, but a lot of things go into this hero balancing, their story, their the mechanic, the kit, the playability, the everything. You know, a lot of it goes into changing a hero and really like fine-tuning them. And it's important to understand that something like what they did with Hog, where it was a big change, they needed to really fine and tune what they thought was good, right? And they say, thank you so much for reading, and please keep the feedback coming. We're listening, Aaron. Guys, we fucking did it. I didn't really do anything. I just ranted for 3 videos that probably got like 300 views a piece. But, you know, maybe Flats and them, Emong and all the bigger content creators are complaining as well. But this feels like they literally listened to what I said. It's so good. My last 3 videos where I talked about the patch notes needed more frequency. Where I talked about the rank system, it needed to be fixed. Where I talked about like transparency and communication and all that sort of stuff. Like, they covered it all in this article. They're like, we're going to be more transparent. We're going to communicate more. We're doing these weekly posts. Massive. We understand the rank system sucks. We have some changes coming in Season 3. Bigger changes coming in Season 4. Articles coming in the future. The reward system's been terrible. People haven't been able to get rewards. They don't have enough time to play. When they do play, they're playing shitty modes. We're doing something to fix it. We're going to talk about it in the next week. Boom. Huge. Massive. Ult costs. Refunds. Big. We're fine-tuning that to 25. See how that feels in Season 3. We need to drop it more. Potentially remove it. We can do that. We're looking into it. They can change it. Balance frequency. We can do more balance changes now. We have the mid-season, we have the initial, and we can do a bunch in between now. And we're gonna try to fine-tune the game better and to have a better overall product faster. Huge, massive. All in all, this entire article is a fucking W, baby. This is huge. I was getting so frustrated with the game, and just reading this 4 or 5 paragraph article has made me so happy because I'm like, they're listening. They're going to fix the game. They're going to do it faster. They want to make the game better. They've just been going through a bunch of stuff, and they're finally getting to the point where they can start pushing stuff out. And I think this is going to breathe life to the game. I've noticed, like, I've personally been leaning away from even playing the game. I've been streaming Escape from Tarkov because the game's actually more fun than Overwatch. I just get on Overwatch to record for YouTube. And I was even looking into, like, I made a tweet where, by the way, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, I post thoughts and stuff over there, and I tweeted out, I was like, hey, I need to find another game to make content for, because Overwatch isn't really the one right now. I don't find it fun, but just reading all this has rejuvenated my desire to want to play the game, to continue to support the game, because they're gonna do stuff. They're showing that they're wanting to change the game and improve it, and they're listening to the community, and it's massive. But again, I don't want this video to go on for 45 minutes. Closing statements, closing thoughts. I'm super happy. I'm super pumped. And let me know what you guys think in the comments below. All right? I love you all, and I'll see you in the regularly scheduled program tomorrow.
Ride with me if you ride with me. You can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky. Come get high with me. That's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me. You can slide with me.